Hi there, I'm Shane Spears and welcome to another edition of Summit Scale, beaming out to you from the beautiful city of Bath in the UK. My guest today is Marcus Aurelius Anderson. Marcus, a very warm welcome. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, my friend.
Good. For those of you that don't know him, Marcus is a best-selling author, TEDx and international keynote speaker, mindset coach to leaders, CEOs and high-performing entrepreneurs, and also the host of the #1 new and noteworthy Epic Achiever podcast. And while preparing to deploy with the US Army, Marcus suffered a severe spinal injury that left him paralysed. After dying on the operating table twice, the surgeon saved his life but told him he'd never walk again. Having no other option, Marcus started doing some brutally honest soul searching, looking for the lesson to be learned from his injury. And once he started seeing his adversity as a gift instead of a curse, something miraculous began to happen. And Marcus now speaks, inspires and teaches others to use their adversity as a catalyst to actualize their personal definition of success in every area of life and business. And his message teaches us how we can use our own adversity to make us into better leaders, entrepreneurs and human beings to create a better world. Brilliant stuff. Marcus, the title of the interview today is Leveraging Adversity into an Epic Success, and we have 5 minutes for the interview. If you're ready, I'll set the clock.
Let's do it.
So let's start with the big obvious one. Why is adversity a gift?
Adversity. Everybody knows it. Nobody likes it. The thing about adversity, it's a gift because it forces us to level up. It forces us to ask more and demand more of ourselves than we normally would. So if it weren't for adversity spurring us forward, whether that be a deadline, whether that having our back up against the wall to make something happen, if it weren't for that, we would probably stay very comfortable in that middle ground of mediocrity. And adversity doesn't give a damn about your feelings. It shows up unannounced at the most inopportune times without apology. And it forces you. It never takes no for an answer.
Yeah.
And we are only as strong as the adversity we overcome. So whether it be in business, whether it be in personal development or in relationships, it makes you have those uncomfortable conversations with other people and yourself, and it makes you demand more from yourself.
Yeah. And you describe, is it some kind of universal force or what's going on? Where's it coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. I think adversity is like gravity. I think it's a natural law. I think that it will happen in some way, shape, or form, whether it be bad weather or traffic or something that happens in your business that seems to push you back a step. But the reality is those are the places where it shows where our weaknesses are. It shines light on those places that we can improve.
Right.
And if we come at it with that idea of wanting to learn, we can find that as a chance to improve and get better so that we're not victimized by it again in the future.
Yeah, brilliant. And how can we leverage adversity into an opportunity in business?
That's where it's so powerful. We see time and again people that have started business or been in business and all of a sudden they face something difficult, whether it be something in the business itself, cash flow problems, a death in the family, and that forces them to step back and take a really, really good hard look. And that's when we get clarity. That's when we see, wow, maybe I'm working on a business just for the monetary component, but going in another direction that's based on something that you really believe in, that will give you that drive to continue to push through. And all of a sudden now you start seeing, wow, I have opportunities here. Wow, I have opportunities to collaborate or to create other businesses or other business opportunities that you wouldn't normally see. And that's why it's so hard, because for a lot of us, we just want to push forward, but we need that opportunity to step back, because that one step back will allow us to have those, 10s, 20s, 30 steps forward in the future if we're willing to look at it as an opportunity to learn.
Yeah. And if we're kind of feeling that personally, is it some sort of self-development journey that we need to go through?
It really is. The reality is we don't need adversity to push us forward. We can do it on our own.
Right.
But as human beings, we usually don't have the discipline.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we may think that we're really asking a lot of ourselves, but then if you have something outside of you that makes you do the work is what really makes it happen. So you may think you're working hard in the gym, for example, but then if you have a trainer that you respect and you paid money to and they're on you, all of a sudden now you're demanding 20, 30, 40% more than what you normally would have.
Yeah.
The same thing with the coach, the same thing with the mentor, the same thing with the person that's a business, consultant. They're the ones that will actually help you see, because they want to help you. And the coach's job is to demand more of you and to help you demand more of yourself. So when you feel like throwing in the towel, they're helping you wring out that last ounce of opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's when you really start making the big gains.
Yeah. But that's interesting, because often when we focus on adversity, we have to look out to find a mentor or a coach or someone to take us through that process, don't we? Yeah.
We absolutely do. We have to look for we have to start using that adversity as basically a compass to direct us in the direction to start making us, go to a higher level. Because like I say, even the level that we're at right now, in 6 months from now, it will have changed. So we need to undulate with that and adapt.
Yeah. Brilliant. And how important is empathy in leadership?
Oh my goodness, it is the missing element in all leadership. We were just talking about coaching or leading. Shane, if I'm talking to you and I coach you from a place of love and respect, but I'm also very straightforward with you, that will work with you for a while, and you may actually enjoy the very aggressive coaching style. But what happens if all of a sudden one day you're having a bad day, and now my coaching style of being very aggressive in your face doesn't work?
Yeah.
That doesn't help me. I have to have empathy as a coach, as a leader, to be able to find out, well, what else is going on? Because if I just yell at you more, Shane, not working, that doesn't help anybody. So I have to have other styles, other tactics of coaching, of leadership, and that empathy by being able to feel what you're feeling, being able to empathize with what you're going through, actually caring about you as a human being is the very first thing, because everything else is predicated upon that. And if I'm just doing it according to the way I like to coach or the way I like to lead, and I'm not actually listening and taking any sort of feedback from you, or at least sensing it in your body language or your actions, it's impossible for me to help you. And that makes it impossible for me to lead not only you, but everybody else in the team, everybody else in the company, everybody else in the corporation, everybody else in that industry to a higher level.
Yeah. And I suppose it's different for different people, but it's also different for different people on different days or different situations, isn't it? Mm.
It absolutely is. And just like if you and I are in a business and we have a team of a dozen different people, we have to understand how each person works. We have to understand how maybe some of those people will rise to the occasion under pressure. Maybe some of them will falter.
Yeah.
And then we have to look at the interaction of how those people act within that confine, right? So the people that raise to the higher level under pressure, how do they work with the people that don't? Do they cause distrust? Does it cause a decrease in morale? Does it cause a lack of empathy?
Yeah.
And so all those things, it's very complicated. And that's the part about leadership that nobody talks about. Yeah. They all want to just say, lead by example or develop trust. That's great. But what happens when you lose trust?
Yeah.
What happens if you can't develop that sort of leading by example? What if you don't have the respect of your employee or employer? And that's where it becomes sticky. And that's what people need the most help with.
Yeah. And I guess if you're not being empathetic, you're going to break down that trust, because you're breaking down the relationship, aren't you? Yeah.
It is. And from adversity, the greatest thing I learned from adversity was the understanding of empathy, because if you learn the lesson from adversity, your empathy will increase exponentially.
Yeah.
Because if you ever fallen down and somebody's helped you up, you always remember how that person made you feel. Yeah. And that way, when you see somebody else has fallen down, you put a hand out and you help them up as well.
Brilliant. Brilliant stuff. We've come, we're well past their time, but brilliant. Some great insights there, Marcus. Really appreciate it. Folks, for more resources, the link will be below, but check out www.marcusaureliusanderson.com. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor to be here.
Thanks for checking out our Summit Scale podcast. If you like what we're doing here, please head over to iTunes and subscribe, rate us and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. And if you want to learn more about the work we do, or are looking for a load of free resources to help with scaling your business, check out our website, www.summitleader.com.